Hello again. So this week we're going to look at drawing a cottage or your particular abode, the type of place you'd love to live. So you're going to need a few pencils, an eraser, a blending stub, blending stick if you've got one, and a ruler would be helpful. If you've not got a ruler, you can use the side of anything that's straight to help you with this. So I'm going to show you a few that I've picked from. It always helps if you've got your source in front of you, your subject matter. And I've chosen a selection that I like. Yours might be completely different from my choice. I like this one. It's front on, so it's not a complex structure if you struggle with angles and perspective. And it's quite cute, it's quite quaint. It's got lots of little intricate details in there as well. I like this one because it's quite rural. I like the stonework. This one's at an angle. So you've got it coming away there, so you can see the perspective. I also like the bridge. I like the bridge, the little stream. I think we'd all like to live next to a little stream. This one's more detailed. And again, I like this one because of all the mark makings with this. It's not very precise, and yet the structure is. I like the details. I also like the fact it's not got the whole structure. I think I might actually choose something like this. I like how it's filters away there. I also like the tonage of this, the contrast with the light and dark, which is very effective. This one, again, it's got a structure on an angle, but it's very free, it's very loose. So if you don't like to be very precise with your drawings, you might want to do this type where you've got lots and lots of loose lines. It's giving that impression of the land there, but it's not being precise with it. I like this tree here. You could also add your own tree. What type of tree would you want to be? An oak tree or a tree of character. I think those are trees that are struck by lightning are quite effective. This one's very straight over here. But look, you know, you've got the chimney there, a little bench. It looks like it's sort of resembling bushes there. So that's one idea. Another idea. So this one is head on. If you don't like perspective, if you struggle with angles and the form in a structure, this is perfect. You can just do head on cottage. Quite a simple structure there. And again, it's got the additions of the trees. And then this one, very dark one, in the woods. Okay, away from everybody. Quite isolated in a way. I think we've never been isolated, to be quite honest. But I don't know if you heard that then, the building across the road. So you've got all these structures of the trees there and a very dark construction. There's not a lot of tonage with that, not a lot of light or dark. But so what I want you to do now is I want you to go away. I want you to find your source. I want you to find your structures. Have a think about what type of abode you want to draw, what cottage you want to live in. And it'd be very interesting to see what you come up with. So I'll see you back here in a few minutes' time. I'm back and off we go. I'm going to start with a, let's have a look, 2H. Don't ask me why, I just like drawing with 2H. I'm going to start with the basic structure, and I'm going to choose the one that doesn't show the whole cottage, the whole abode. So I'm going to start with finding the centre of my page, and I'm going to measure the one. I want the centre quite symmetrical. So it's got 14, so I've got 7. Do the same at the top. Go to about 14, and again there. bring it back down. So if I go a bit further, I think 2.5, 7, 1, 2, 2.5, back up here. I'm going to just do 2.5 on each side. This is the only time I'm going to be that precise with this. And then join up my lines, quite faint. Remember, I always do it faintest. I got a bit skew width with there, but more or less. So on this side, I want the tree structure is going to go over the building. Found my centre here, and that's going to form centre, the roof part of the house, of the cottage. Now I'm only putting in the basic outlines to start off with. We don't want to get too in depth when we start off, so I want to have quite a large, and again I'm pressing quite lightly, remember, we can see this, I'll check in a minute, quite lightly, just because I might change it as I go along. And this is going to have sort of a big beam going across there, big structure to hold the building up. I'm going to have an old-fashioned plaque. I'm in an old building here in the studios again. It's 18th century, I think it's amazing. And then my window, it's going to go here. Quite rough now at the moment. Just want to make sure that it is quite central, although on these old buildings they sometimes move, don't they? And that's where the bricks are going to go. And then here I'm just going to have a roof each side. I'm going to use my ruler for this bit. I'm going to bring the ruler in again. I'm not going to go on too much longer for this one because you don't want to watch every single detail that I'm doing. You just need to see how I'm getting where, getting these basic lines. And because it's straight on, this isn't going to go too far back. I'll jot it a little bit forward because it's the entrance part. It's going to be slightly in front of the side building there, the side of it. And then I just need to put my windows up there. I want to see it's not going to be too far towards the ground. Again, windows there. And then we'd do the same at the top. When we come to the roof, and remember this isn't showing the whole structure. Now that's a bit skew width for my liking. I'm just gonna, shouldn't have done it as dark really. But it should rub out because it's not a B pencil. Remember, the high number Bs, we don't use them because we can't get rid of the lines afterwards. I'll try again with that one. So it's a beauty about these being lines, isn't it? So try it there so we can see. Yeah, that's better, I think. Much better. Okay, so I'm going to leave you now to get the basis, the outline of your structure, and then we'll go from there. Remember, don't press down, nice and light so you find you like what you can see. Remember to come away from the structure as well, so you can get a full idea of what it looks like. You can't always see when you're close on top of it. See you in a bit. So I've darkened my details. I've darkened the windows and the door and parts of the structure. I've added a circle here. Just want to show you, in case you want to do a free-handed circle, the easiest way is I tend to put points. I think I've shown you this before, but you think about it being 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, okay, and then follow that round, follow that part round, that quarter, and again here, go from your 6 and go back up. Keep looking at the outside line as well, and again, 9, back down, back over there to 12, and so forth. You could also use the armatures and try to do one freehand, but if you're not that good at drawing circles, try that way, it should help you. The other thing I'm going to look at drawing now and helping you with is deciding whether you're going to do your cobble type roof, like this one. This would take you a lot longer because you've got your individual slates there, okay? And you've got your big cobbles here. Or whether you want to do it slightly more free. See the lines there? You can do a combination, or how about that? The thatch. And I've showed this before where the lines are really, really loose, and that'd be a lot quicker. Yeah. I think I'm going to do a mixture. I'm going to start with the roof, and I'm going to have finer pencil for now. And I'm going to turn mine on the side, so I can show this before. I'm just going to do some quick lines. I'm going to go across to that way as well, just so I can keep. Obviously, I'm not going to touch in the centre there. And I'm going to do some more closer to the middle of the paper, because remember, I'm not doing the whole structure. Again, you can always add to this. So I don't think you have to put everything in all at once. See how it's going first. I quite like that. So I'm going to add some lines going up just to give it some more appearance of it being a 3D effect. I'm going to spend too much time on this because I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to add some cobbles, some stones into the structure. And remember, cobbles come in different sizes. Put some cobbles in there. And add yours. And I'm going to now bring some tonage in. Just trying to show you variations on this, so you're not just watching me bit by bit put this together, otherwise you'll get bored. So remember, again, I've got picked up a 3B here. So I'm going to put some side, remember the side, taking my fingers to the end of the pencil, because I want this quite loose. Remember that tornado movement? Again on this side. bring it back to the front. When you want that control again, lift your pencil up straight. So you've got the control there. Again, remember when I said you can turn your paper to the side. So I think I'm going to have this plinth part of this wood. So I'm just going to put some grains. And you'll see now how this to start. I've put my plaque there is GB because my maiden name is Bloomfield, and that's where Blooming Garden comes from. You can put your own plaque in there. The door, again, I've put some stonage over the top. Just gradually bring, so you can see that a little bit clearer. I'm not so precise with that just yet. And as you can see, bit by bit, I'm going to start bringing the shading in. And lines across there. And this doorway here, I'm going to do the same, whereas I'm going to bring some darkness to it. We're using a B pencil. And go over it with a 5B, 6B to make it even darker later. But for now, just using a 3B. I'm going to show you again. So remember our blending stub? I'll show you that one in 1 minute. How it spreads that little lead, brings it all together. So you have a few things to think about now. Think about your light, your shading. Think about the structure. Think about, is it going to be cobbled? Is it going to be slate? Is it going to be wood? I've done a bit of everything at the minute so you can actually see. The other tip that I did mention is because we've got some fine details on here. Remember the putting the putty, the eraser onto the end of the stub, and that way you can rub out with it a lot easier. When it gets the lead on it, just take it off and replace it. So I'm going to leave you again, so you're not going to see all of this. I'm going to now work on the windows. I'm going to work on the rest of putting the cobbles in, putting some more tones in there. Who's going to live in the attic? Let me put some life into that as well. And what's this structure going to be on the house? I'm actually, rather than doing it all, I'm just going to give an impression that it's made of brick. See how I can just put them lines in and put the odd stone if you want to, and that will give the impression rather than doing the whole structure. We need to put another window in here as well and over there. So I'll see you back in here in about 20 minutes or so. Been doing some more work on the details on this, and you can see now how it's starting to take shape. I've added some steps in there. It looks quite grand now. I just want to show you how to create this sort of pebble effect. All I've done is I've done some shading underneath, very loose shading, and then just emphasise little details, and that will give the impression of small cobbles. Obviously, if you want them larger, just make them a little bigger. When you're doing your stairs, okay, you should be used to this now, away from your smaller, and each one goes larger at the front. To give that platform, just bring some shading in there. I've put in the windows now, and I'm going to do these windows the same, more or less the same as these that I've already put in place. So I don't need to do some and show you any more work on that. If you want to bring in some foliage, again, you can just the scrumbling method, the figure of 8, works quite nicely. That if you had some type of ivy or so forth growing up there, see that? So again, it's just giving that impression and mark making. It would go a bit over there, wouldn't it? It would go into the other building around the side and carry on with that. But all you need to do now is keep working on these tones, bringing light and shade to your work. I'll bring some more into the cobbles there. And just mark making. So it's entirely up to you with what structure you're working on now, which way you're going to go with this. Are you going to give that impression of stones, cobbles, or are you going to go more detailed? So I'll leave you to carry on with this. Oh, one thing I'm going to do, what I noticed I wasn't quite keen on was the roof area here. It's very, very flat, so I'm actually going to get rid of that. I'm going to show you now. Turn it around. I'm going to get rid of that. It's the change it makes. It's not helping the structure. It's too straight, but I also want it to appear. See, it's better already. I'm just going to, yeah. I'm not even going to put the top of the roof in and give the impression of it just going away. So it's not got the whole structure. I prefer that. So now it's up to you to work on your details. I decided not to put my tree in because I got carried away with the putting the windows in, and I didn't want to take them out once I put them in. So I'm going to work on this, and I'm just going to do a picture at the end of it, and I'll put that on at the front of the video. So good luck with yours, I can't wait to see them. Bye now.